day. Let's go with our third game of the evening. And I didn't update the scoreboard. I'm so good at this streaming business. I forgot to update the score. There we go. Alright, welcome guys to game number 3 between TaToH and BacT in our 5-game series. BacT here, playing in red for our third game once again. I like that the players have kept their colours. I like that a lot. It makes it a lot easier to remember who is who. Playing as the Goths, and to the north of the map in the blue we have TaToH playing as the Goths as well. If you haven't noticed, it's mirrors all the way down, and we've got both players here on Vital River, which is the more extreme version of Valley, which you may have seen in the Escape Gaming events over the last few months. Valley is a map that we're quite particularly fond of, and it's one that makes it into the map pool quite regularly. This map, however, as I say, is a bit more extreme. There is a lot less food at the players' town centres, and by a lot less, I mean 3 sheep and 2 berry spots. That's it. No boar, no deer, no cows, no llamas, no turkeys. No, 3 sheep and 2 patches of forage. So thankfully, the forage is very close to your town centre, aka touching the town centre, and then you've got your 3 sheep as well, which you can scout with in the beginning, which both players seem to have done a little bit. And then they realize just how devoid of resources this map is. However, cast your eyes to the center of the map. Da, 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 da. It's glorious. It's full of wolves and boar and deer and berries. There's even some turkeys over here, which I totally forgot about, which BacT is actually going to send home. There's even some sheep scattered around. But it is glorious, so glorious. And I think both players should be getting their scout to the center here ASAP to bring some of those sheep and turkeys home. This is full of food, teeming with life, as the oases tend to be in the desert. And yeah, TaToH going to be coming forward with a mill, of course, and going to be starting to take some of these deer, pushing it in with his villager. With his scout. But why Goths, you might be wondering, and why this map? Well, first of all, with the Valley map that we have in the Escape Gaming events, certainly a lot less need to come to the river in the center. It's a little bit more of a tame map. This is a little bit more extreme because it's midweek madness. It's supposed to be crazy. And also because, well, Goths, by the way, because I wanted to see some cheap men-at-arms and some cheap militia. This is the kind of map where it's worth fighting over the center to get all of these abundant resources here, which you cannot get at home. If you are forced to farm and take a lot of wood and farm up, you're going to fall behind versus the player who is taking all of the free food in the center of the map. So it's worth to get a mill up here, and it's worth to fight for this center map control. Each player does have 3 gold piles. There are a couple of additional golds across the map. Each player has 2 stones as well. So in that respect, the resources there are fairly normal. But right now, both players, as I say, coming forward with the mill. And yeah, so should be good. Now, I saw some questions in the chat as well. I think someone asked me something. Trying to find it. Oh, can I ask for an autograph from Viper? Well, I don't know if you know, but Viper lives very, 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 very far north in Norway. I think he's closer to Russia than he is to England. So I don't think I'll be seeing Viper. Although I did ask if he would come down, but I think actually he's not even going to be in Norway when I am in Norway. I think he's actually going to be in Germany. So I'm not going to be seeing him there, no. But I will be in Norway next week. Not next week, the week after next week. But yeah, it should be good. Anyway, as I was saying before, both players here going to be fighting for the center, and we see the barracks coming down for the old BacT here, and we don't see that for TaToH just yet. TaToH at the lumber camp, 4 villagers on the wood, and he just has 0 wood in the bank. So I'm wondering where the wood went. where the wood went. I think he actually just built a house with it. I don't actually think he had many villagers on wood at all. I think he was actually committed quite heavily to gathering the food. And we can see, if we look, that BacT has 62 food in the bank, while TaToH has 384. However, BacT is spending that food on some militia to go and acquire the enemy here, right here. TaToH, of course. And he's going to be coming in with 2 for now. Maybe he'll add a 3rd. Of course, TaToH will see this. He does have his... Wow. Well, I thought TaToH would see this. Look at that. 1 tile away from scouting the barracks. And TaToH's probably got a very good idea that BacT is making some militia due to the fact his score is so high right now in comparison. But the big key difference here is that TaToH is already on the way up to the Feudal Age. And BacT is not, because he's just spent those resources on the militia. Now he's going to move out with the 3, see what he can find. If you can find a couple of vills here, this would be huge. Elite Goat, I'm going to be in Oslo for the week from until the 6th of April, that is. But yeah, coming in now with the 3 militia and the scout, see what he can find. Obviously, the scout doesn't get the bonus attack, and right now, TaToH feels comfortable to just fight with the vills. Now, this is where I would expect BacT to bring all of the villagers off the line and come and fight with a complete villager fight here, but nope. He's not going to throw it all down the drain. This isn't Tim that he's playing against. This is TaToH. So we will kill 1 villager. Not too bad. If he can get a second one, he's quids in. But he might not find another one here. This fella is pretty low. Could go for it. He's actually baiting him away. I wonder if he's got his eyes on this guy here. He should be checking the HP of these villagers, that's for sure. Keeping an eye on who's low. But we can see TaToH here has added a barracks of his own now. And once he gets to the Feudal Age, well, with 4 villagers on gold, I am expecting to see him doing man-at-arms. But where are the militia? He doesn't have any yet. He's doing the upgrade before he's got any units, but of course once he does have the upgrade, he can start making men-at-arms straight away. BacT, meanwhile, still being a savage out here, but TaToH can of course take advantage of the +2 attack on his scout cavalry to really harass these guys a little bit more. So yeah, BacT here, moving back towards the TC of TaToH, see what he can find, but with very low militia, it's unlikely he'll be able to achieve much at this stage. He should be on the way up to the Feudal Age, yes he is, at 60% of the way, and building more militia right now. TaToH also building men-at-arms right now, 4 queued up. That's pretty cool, as he's going to be sending them forward to protect and serve his villagers here. Villagers from TaToH also coming in with the tower. I like that tower placement a lot. It's quite risky, but he knows that BacT can't stop it because he has the man-at-arms on standby. BacT is looping around though, and once BacT does get Feudal, he will have that man-at-arms upgrade coming in, and he's going to have a few more units out to effect as well. TaToH with 4 infantry right now versus BacT, who also apparently has 4, so I was wrong about that. In fact, now he's only got 3, because the men-at-arms from TaToH are coming in, and this is a great time for an attack from TaToH here. He's going to bring these men-at-arms, these militia super low right now, and then when the man-at-arms upgrade comes in, they're already going to be low, so it makes it easier for TaToH to clean them up later on. The tower as well, denying a lot of food from BacT here. In fact, BacT has had to move all the way down to the right side, building a 3rd mill right now, compared to TaToH, who's only just adding in his 2nd. We've also got TaToH going on a bit more of stone, but I love this. I love seeing the militia and the man-at-arms coming out, and who knows, if it gets that far, we might even see some long swordsmen, but I do think it could be unlikely, as BacT seems to be making the switch into archers right now, which is a very logical next step, I suppose. I also love that TaToH can just walk under BacT's TC, no problem, because BacT doesn't have enough villagers nearby to actually garrison anything inside, and then he can't actually fire out. So, yeah, TaToH here looking pretty nice, as he's going to have the HP pool advantage over BacT here with these 4 militia. Man-at-arms. I wish I would get it right. I just keep getting it wrong. He's also actually harassing BacT in the center as well. It looks like he's going to get some revenge for the villager that was slain earlier on over at the mill here by killing one of BacT's in the center of the map. I don't think there's any way BacT can escape from that or get away. So down he goes, and they should be about even. BacT on 32 pop, while TaToH is on 30, actually. So TaToH a little further behind on population, and that could be due to the fact there is a fight going on down here, which I was missing. But it seems like BacT actually lost the most units there, looking at the dead bodies on the floor. He's actually getting a little bit caught out by the archers now, as if BacT is paying attention, he's not paying enough attention. I was going to say he should out-micro these men-at-arms quite easily with his archers. But there you go, taking another one down, and he'll win that fight as he turns his attention towards the center, where he also seems to be outnumbering TaToH here as well. So BacT is looking very good at the moment, especially considering the switch into archers has already happened. For TaToH, the switch into archers only just starting. He's had a little bit more commitment to the men-at-arms, I think. And so far, I don't know if it's paid off, because he's only killed one villager, and he's fallen behind in military now as well. It's quite a big score lead for BacT at the moment, as BacT adds his second archery range, and I also hear the second archery range coming up for TaToH as well. But look at BacT, he's already coming up with the blacksmith here on the front as well, so it looks like he's going to have fletching a little bit before TaToH, and that's going to be really nice. Right now, he's actually going to focus down, surprisingly, on the archer at the back. BacT has a lot more food in the bank. In fact, he can afford to do fletching straight away here. There you go, it's coming in. So he's going to want to keep these archers out of the fight right now. Let them do damage from the back. Scout coming in from TaToH. That's going to get cleaned up. But BacT not taking the best fight. He's a little bit outnumbered. His reinforcements a little bit late to come in. As a result, these archers at the back peppering them as they try and run away. But BacT will come in faster with the reinforcements of archers than TaToH. So I think he should end up winning this fight. Or he should be able to turn it around with the archers in here. Especially now that fletching has been done. These men-at-arms sponges for the arrows, it seems, but BacT will push TaToH away for now, so that's good for him. One more shot on the men-at-arms, BacT. Come on, you can do it. I think the spearman's chasing him down. There you go. Spearman denied. And more and more and more men-at-arms from both players, which is almost a little bit surprising, because once you get to a certain mass of archers, the men-at-arms are absolutely useless. BacT, though, clinging to the hill here as TaToH brings in villagers to fight. This is pretty good for TaToH, actually, to bring the vills in here. It's quite smart. It does actually mean he will get the edge, but maybe overcommitting a little bit with the vills as he runs back. Okay, that was a good fight for TaToH. Much better than his previous fights, anyway. 41 pop for BacT. TaToH on 40. We're very even right now. But the food income for these players is just, it's gone. There's just so little food coming in for TaToH right now. He's got, what, 4 fishermen and one hunter? And then he's got he doesn't even have a farmer. So TaToH's TC actually going to be falling idle quite a bit. And that really goes against one of the golden rules of Age of Empires 2. Don't let your TC fall idle. BacT, on the other hand, 3 farms. He's also got a little bit more food income in the center because he has got more villagers gathering food out here. So BacT is probably going to be pulling ahead in villagers right now as TaToH's TC idles for a little bit, which is really bad news. So he's got to be very careful of that. Now, fortunately for TaToH, he has actually been gathering food in peace over here. But I think maybe a bit of an overcommitment to the men-at-arms, perhaps. It's really starting to bunch up with the archers now, though, or get a good number of archers on the ground. And that's going to be a really important factor as the game goes on. Obviously, if you overcommit to archers and crossbows, your opponent could catch you out with Huskarls in the Castle Age, but that's something to think about a little bit later on. As TaToH comes in for a little bit of a raid down here, and I think he's going to be successful as well. These villagers very far away from any safety. BacT, he doesn't have a tower. He doesn't have many units nearby. He's going to lose 2 villagers already and make that 3 as TaToH comes in with a vengeance here. Really hurting BacT's economy, and that's exactly what he needs to make up for the TC idle time that he suffered earlier on. So good micro by TaToH. He should just get out now. No need to stay in there any longer. Deal with what you've got to deal with back at home. And oh, goodness me. BacT's going to make it through. And right as TaToH equalizes things up a little bit, BacT is going to deal another blow to TaToH. And TaToH there, not in a position where he can afford to take that, I think. He needs to be very careful now. not to lose too many more villagers back here. He's only lost one, actually, so it's not so bad. I thought it was worse. And as I say that, TaToH in the stone mine of BacT. He is doing a great job of pulling this one back now. He's on a little bit of an AoE comeback after quite a rocky start, to say the least. But yeah, BacT able to push him away in the center, but still, TaToH starting to find a few more vills all over the place. 50 population for TaToH, 54 for BacT. He's still keeping his population up. And I'd put that down to just double archery range production, non-stop, around the clock. And obviously, reasonable trades. I also say as well, TaToH's gathering a lot more stone than BacT here, and he's spending on towers. BacT so far has just got one tower, and he's gathered a little bit of stone, but I think it would be a good idea to keep gathering stone, because once he gets to the castle age, if he can throw down a castle and start making Huskarls, oh, he'll be in the money. That'll be a great position, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get the villagers back on stone to do that. And yeah, I mean, Huskarls would definitely work very well against this defensive style that TaToH is playing here with the towers. Obviously, one of the big downsides of the Goths is that you don't get stone walls. You've got to make deal with the palisades. And these men-at-arms are pretty good at breaking down palisades, as it turns out. But hey, 2 more villagers down for BacT there. Or TaToH killing 2 more villagers with BacT. That's going to be really good. And he's actually been killing a lot more villagers over the last few minutes. In fact, I mean, I can't be bothered to count this up because it's always changing and it's always a bit of a mess to count how many villagers they have. But we can look at the military count. 9 military for TaToH versus 16 for BacT. BacT on 54 population, TaToH on 52. So BacT has fallen behind considerably in villager count from all this raiding. TaToH's really pulling ahead in vills by about 7, 8 maybe villagers here. Another tower going up in the wood line, but it's worth it if he can protect his villagers at the end of the day. So TaToH really pulling ahead in villager count now. And BacT's got to be very careful not to fall too far behind in economy. Farm-wise, though, BacT has 5, whilst TaToH has just 4, with 10 idols. Alright, well, there's no use having extra villagers if they are standing around doing nothing. They're as good as dead if they're not actually gathering any resources. So TaToH gonna have to be a better taskmaster here and send his lazy ass villagers back to work. But yeah, I think at this stage, securing more food definitely a plus. But obviously, the later the game goes, the more dangerous the center of the map becomes without any big defensive buildings or big defensive units. So for BacT, he can't really protect these villagers that well from raiding at the moment, with no towers, no castle, no skirmishes to sort of sit on the hills and see what's coming his way. So TaToH could raid this more. I think the next phase is really to see players starting to seed more farms for that reliable food around the TC. And as the game goes on, farms become a little bit more efficient than gathering things from like sheep and I think even eventually fully upgraded, like once you have wheelbarrow, handcart, and yeah, basically that. Pretty sure your farms are about as efficient as gathering from hunt anyway, roughly. I might be a little off the mark with that, but still. It's definitely a lot more efficient, is my point. And your villagers aren't at risk either, which is another big bonus of keeping them close to the TC. But yeah, TaToH here actually keeping his foot on the gas with this archer production and coming in from the front and the back at the same time, as he's actually going to find this watchtower going up on BacT's stone, killing more villagers. This is a big blow for BacT. He really cannot afford to be losing more villagers here. This is going to be really setting him behind quite a long way. At the front as well, TaToH coming in and dropping a tower. Now, I'm not a big fan of the towers that TaToH's dropping all over the place, because I do feel like it might be better to save for the castle, but the castle's going to come a lot later for TaToH. This is going to be an immediate effect right now. He's going to be locking down the front of the map. Meanwhile, though, BacT is on the way to the castle age. How has he done that? Well, he has been gathering a lot of resources in the center quite unattested, which is nice. And I think he was seeding his farms a little faster as well. But also, I think he might... Well, actually, I'm not sure. I think he might have used his market, perhaps. Could have done that. But either way, he is up to the castle age a little faster than TaToH here by... well, TaToH's not even clicked up yet, so it's a significant margin. The question is, what will BacT do with it? He actually doesn't have any stone. And last time I checked, I thought BacT had a lot of stone, so maybe he did sell some stone and rejig things a little bit that way. But, yeah, I mean, crossbow, I assume. It's going to be the crossbow upgrade coming in. It's going to be bodkin arrow coming in. And BacT is just going to stick with the crossbows here. Double down on that. Now, as I say, there's nothing wrong with crossbows. They're going to make great raiding units. But they do run the risk of being wrecked by the Huskarls. But it doesn't look like any player is going to be in a position to start Huskarls anytime soon. TaToH's not clicked up to castle yet. He doesn't have enough stone. BacT, meanwhile, killing 3 vills on the deer. And he's taken the score lead again. So BacT certainly looking a little stronger. Now he's got the good old crossbow upgrade. Now, TaToH does have quite a lot of defensive towers, but BacT can surely find some holes and weak spots in the defenses here. Especially now he's got bodkin arrow, and he's got a lot more range. There you go, 2 more villagers going down. These guys hit hard, and they hit fast. Just how TaToH doesn't like it when they're in his wood line. So, yeah, BacT here. Also getting a bit screwed at the back of the map because TaToH just outnumbers him, simply. Doesn't matter if you've got better units. If you're outnumbered 10 to 1, you're still going to lose. Not that he was outnumbered 10 to 1, but he was outnumbered very massively there. We've also got a siege workshop coming up for BacT. I'm sure. I saw it. There we go. Thought I was hallucinating. But no, there is a siege workshop coming up. And no doubt, we'll see a Mangonel coming out very shortly. Good old Mangy the Mangonel. Going to be coming out for BacT here. But TaToH still not castle yet. He's just clicked up. He's on 7%. He's got a long way to go. And this is a great window of opportunity for BacT to do some damage and kind of equalize and even the score a little bit from earlier. We've got the 1 crossbow here. Get bludgeoned to death by 10 angry villagers. It's not 10, it's 9. I try and look at the number of villagers and just guess how many there are, just at a glance. I think 10 wasn't a bad guess. I was only 1 out. Obviously, the more units there are, the harder it is. So, while we keep it small, it's still pretty easy. Look, two skirmishes. Didn't even have to count them. I just know there's 2 right there by looking at them. The mark of a pro caster, that is. 5 skirmishes right here, just by looking. Don't need to count. Sorry, I'm just messing around right now. So you can tell it's midweek madness. All the serious casting was at the weekend. It's just a bit chill for the time being. Is it 10 villages in the end? As it turns out, I was right all along. No, it is 9. Look, there is 9 villages right here. 3, 6, 9. Now there's going to be 8. And then 7, and then 6, because BacT is coming in with the crossbows, and TaToH has no defense for these villagers right here. They are just left out to hang and to dry in the wind. Poor vills. What have they done to deserve this? BacT should not be allowed to come in here and just kill those like that. But this map is pretty tough. As you may have noticed, players have not really walled up much. A, because they're goths, and B, because the map's quite open and it's pretty hard to wall. Hence the kind of messy watchtower plays that we're seeing. But that, right there, is quite an army. Quite an army from TaToH. He's keeping his army together. Whereas you'll notice BacT is splitting his army up a lot more. Keeping them in smaller groups. But, as I was saying earlier, these villages down here, no defenses for them. There's no towers, no army, no skirms nearby. But TaToH's kind of lost the scent. He's like a retired bomb sniffer. He's lost the scent. Heading back over there now. He's picked it back up again. On the breeze, he can smell villager blood as this crossbowman does some work. Closing in. And BacT in for a treat as he's going to lose a few more vills running away. That's just the story of this game, really. Wherever you look, villagers are dying. All they want to do is just collect resources in peace. But no, constantly accosted, constantly harassed by these armies of BacT and TaToH. But yeah, back to kind of getting annoyed by the towers, I think. Cleaning those out with a mangonel and a ram, securing his base. I've got to say, it does look a lot better for BacT right now, doesn't it? TaToH with all these defensive towers and BacT just constantly raiding with the crossbows. TaToH hasn't really achieved the same effect, I feel. And BacT cleaning out the towers, he looks a lot more comfortable at home. 3 TCs, villagers in relative safety. Though, as I say that, TaToH is on the way over. And this is going to be causing a few more casualties for sure. Get the ambulance. These guys are going to be heavily wounded by these crossbows. But yet still, I mean, as I say, it does look a little bit better for BacT right now. But you know, every time I seem to favor one player, it swings back the other way as the other player starts raiding again. Case in point, 6 villagers dead on the wood line. Look, I didn't even have to count it. I know there's 6 right there. The mark of a true caster right there. So anyway, TaToH continuing to raid, BacT continuing to raid. The story so far. TaToH with his 3rd TC coming up. That's actually a lot later than BacT. So I imagine BacT is considerably ahead in population. 69 for TaToH, BacT at 81. So yeah, that's expected. And he's got the defensive mangonel as well, which is very good for BacT, and certainly very potent if he gets a good shot onto TaToH's army. In fact, he even came forward with the mangonel. Do I hear a castle? I do hear a castle. Yes! BacT coming out with the Huskarls, getting those Huskies out, and that's what I'm talking about. The Huskarls, the Huskies, they don't lose the scent. Not like the crossbows. They'll run in, and they will just keep going. They will keep killing villagers until they've tanked their, you know, 30th, 40th arrow, whatever it is. And yeah, the Huskarl is going to be game-changing here, especially since TaToH really has no ability to deal with them at this stage. You know, he's going to be sitting in his towers, sitting in his town center, and they're going to be doing no damage. He needs to be able to either make Huskarls of his own or start getting some long swordsmen out. Or, I mean, he could, I guess, throw some Scorpions out, but again, not the best choice. Not really. Not against Huskarls. So, he's going to be screwed if he's not careful. And I don't think TaToH has any idea that this is coming his way either. On the right side, a little engagement. BacT going to get up a nice shot with the mangonel. The second shot does connect, but doesn't do that much damage. So, BacT's going to back out of there. Just going to get out while he can. But there they go, the Huskarls, right? It's 60. It's 60 damage, of course. There you go. I was going to say 60 at first, but I thought, no, they have 60 health today. I thought it was like 40, but nope. 60 health and 8 pierce armor, which means that these watchtowers simply glance off their armor, doing very little damage at all. And these Huskarls are going to be game-ending for TaToH. TaToH's response, get the long swordsman out. He doesn't have the resources for it, though. Sadly for TaToH, he's neglected gold. He's got 1 villager on gold up at the top of the map. That's it. And he's got no gold in the bank, very little food, no resources for the long swordsman. And as a result, BacT will get the victory with that Huskarl play right there. And I feel like TaToH, if he didn't commit so heavily to the towers, he probably could have gotten a castle of his own. Now, how many towers did TaToH build? I think there was 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. And then that's 3, 4, 5, 6 towers. I don't know if maybe you built another one somewhere else, but let's just say it was 6 towers. And so with 6 towers at 125 stone each, that's 750 stone. He could have built a castle. Now, obviously, he needed the towers when he actually had them to defend himself a little bit. But maybe if he didn't go offensive with the towers, he could have built his castle a little sooner, could have defended a little longer, held on. Because I feel like in this kind of matchup, it really is the Huskarls that changed the game. As we saw, BacT showing the Huskarls, TaToH resigning pretty quickly after that. And I just feel like making that switch is the game-winning move. 9 times out of 10, if your opponent doesn't have a castle or doesn't have like 4 barracks already with you know, a bunch of long swordsmen, and who has that prepared already. So yeah, very well played by BacT there. good raiding by both players. Neither player really got, you know, a solid eco and a safe eco at that game. That's why I like that map. There's always a bit of raiding action going on. TaToH actually had the most units killed, 79. Obviously, 71 lost. It's a pretty close ratio, but the fact that he actually killed the most, and he probably killed the most villagers, that's really interesting. But at the end of the day, BacT had the right unit at the right time, and that enabled him to win the game. Surprisingly, BacT actually did have the villager high, so I didn't expect that. I thought... Actually, no, I did expect that. What am I talking about? I expected him to have a villager high, but I didn't think it would be that much, let's put it that way. I expected it to be quite close. But turns out he actually did do a lot of raiding. And there is the achievements at the end of the game. So there you go. That was